Howdy everybody, and it looks like we're live. Not on Starlink yet, but I'll go into that in a little while. Anyway, let's say hi to everybody. Find out who got the cookie. Looks like Quasimodo got the cookie. Quasi, enjoy that cookie. Good to see you here. Chuck Schreiber got the half cookie. Chuck, good to see you here. Tom Grassi, looks like you got crumbs. And we have Dundas Junction Model Railroad. James, good to see you here. And who else do we got here? Let's see, we get Chuck there. Hot Dog Pilot Andy. Hey Andy, good to see you. And it looks like that's it for the moment. I hope we're not going to have any issues again. Pretty light crowd so far. Of course, technically it's only 6 o'clock, so I started a couple minutes early. I was bored. Looks like spring here. Yeah, talk about heat, man. I'll tell you what. Last night it was so cold I had to turn the heat on in the bedroom. Today I got the air conditioning on out here. This weather's fucking weird. Oh, and what do you think of the shaved look? As promised, I told you I was going to shave. And I've shaved like, what, 7 times already? A week? Actually more, because I already got stubble, believe it or not. I shaved like 6 hours ago. Go figure. Anyway, so what happened with the Starlink is, the guy, the installer, never showed up. Supposed to be here this past Monday between 12 and 5. Well, 5 o'clock rolled around, no installer. I don't know how to get a hold of them because there's no... I don't really have a receipt or anything. When I signed up for it, I went ahead and said, you know, I'd like professional installation. They said, all right, no problem. And they gave me the name of the installer, which I don't remember. But that's it. I mean, there's no receipt or anything else, so... I don't know what the hell's going on. That's bullshit. Looking younger, huh? Yeah, people say I look younger without the beard. But I look stupid for now. But it really did help to air out my face a little bit. So we'll see. But no, I'm gonna get it back. Because I'll tell you what. I was shaving the other day. And you can't really see it, but... I nicked my lip. Fucking bloodbath. Because, you know, I'm on thinners and stuff. And it was blood everywhere. Took about 45 minutes to finally get it to quit bleeding. You know. I walked around with a piece of toilet paper on there, which just saturated that quick. So it's like, oh, this sucks. So, another reason I don't want to shave either, you know. And cutting myself is, like I said, because I'm on blood thinners. It's like having a bloodbath every time, so... And I do look weird without it. I mean, especially without the glasses. You know. I don't know. I kind of look like a, I don't know. I don't look like I think I look. I just look weird. So anyway, getting back to Starlink. So, I gotta write a letter. I'll probably do it tomorrow. I'm kind of dicking around on it because I don't think they're going to do anything anyway. I was going to send an email to Starlink and see, you know, what's the deal. So what I did do is I went ahead and ordered a installation kit because they don't install. So I went ahead and I bought a wall mount. It'll probably go up on the fascia, you know, in the back corner of the house, because that's the only place I really got a clear view of the sky for like 80 degrees. But it's going to be tough because, you know, I don't do well on ladders anymore. I have a tough time climbing a ladder, even I don't want, you know, some 8 foot tall, but this sucks. But I'm going to have to do it, so too bad. I'll probably go ahead and attempt to hang the part that goes on the fascia, and then the rest is easy from there. That'll be the toughest part. Like I said, I don't know what the hell happened with the professional installation. It's bullshit. I'm on the red again, aren't I? Well, we're still on Comcast here, and it sucks. And did I go off? I think I did go off, didn't I? Motherfucker. Alright, I'm in the green again. That's a bunch of shit. I don't know how long I was in the red. I wasn't paying attention. I know they term it perfectly. That's what I said. I think they're throttling me. I don't care what anybody says. My stepdaughter's boyfriend said, "Oh no, it's bad wires up on the pole." I said, "Yeah, not when it goes off at specific time every Thursday, and that's it. You know, the rest of the week it worked fine. Day, evening, night, everything worked great." And I'm back in the red again. This is bullshit. Now I'm back in the green. Okay, so. Hey, Derek Alexander, how you doing? Good to see you here. If I got through, I don't even know. Like I said, I'm still on Comcast. Hopefully next week we'll be on Starlink. And this shit won't be happening yet. Now we're back in the red again. Motherfucker. Still in the red. Down to yellow. Hope it'll clear up in a few minutes. Yeah, I'm back in the green. Like I said, this is bullshit. This is why my wife says, "Well, why'd you waste your time with Starlink? They can't even get the thing up for you." I said, "Yeah, but it don't matter because I can't deal with this bullshit every week. So we're just going to go with Starlink no matter what." Thomas says, "Oops, Comcast must be pissed off that Jim's switching to it." I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know if they listen in or not. They probably do. I don't know. It's bullshit, though. As I said, I got to get the Starlink up and running because this is getting ridiculous. It really pisses me off when, this kind of shit happens. Says, "You're coming through, Jim. Sound good. Video slow." Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll clean up here in a minute. I'm in the green, for what the hell that means, but the drop frame rate is at 36%. That's terrible. And now we're back in the red. Come on, green. Yeah, all right, Derek, sounds good. Now back in the green again. Tom says, "I'm in the process of upgrading an Athearn GPY DC to DCC wiring now. Hopefully we'll get this up and running tonight." There you go. Speaking of DCC, remember my switcher, right? Well, I got the decoder in. The only thing I have to do is hook up the lights. All the power's hooked up. The power pickups are in. The motor connections are in. It does work. I'm going to have to fool around with the CVs a little bit. And probably get a more powerful starting voltage. Because you got to really crank it up to get this thing to move. And then after that, it's fine. But I'm waiting on lights. I ordered some white LEDs, 3mm. I thought I had some. I don't, so I had to order some from eBay. They will be here no later than the 3rd of next month. So about a week. So until I get those, I'm kind of stuck. I did design decals, though. And this is what's going to go on the side of the body of the switcher. Millennium County Railroad. Of course, it'll be a clear decal with kind of a silvery gray font on it with a black outline. You can see that. And that's going to go right on the side, on both sides of the side here. I did get the back window put in. I got to make a new front window because the one I had was chipped on the corner and it's not going to work too well. So I'll get that put together. And for the 148 steamer, the tender, I did do a decal for that. This will go underneath the 148. Of course, the final version will look better. I recolored everything so that I got really crisp white lettering and a dark glossy black background. Now I've got the decal material for that, because that's going to be the white backed one, because you can't print white letters. But the other one has to be clear, and I don't know if I have any clear decal paper or not. If I don't, I'll have to order some of that too, and I'll tell you, I'm getting nickeled and dimed to death over here. But that's what I've been doing. That's really better. Okay. Also, some of the cars that I got from the train show, my train show booty. This here's the chassis system. I put metal wheels on there and truck mounted coupler or body mounted couplers. I'll get it right. Hey Derek, you couldn't hear me before? Well, I'm on, so it's on your end. So I got this one done. This one's ready to go. Get it out of the way over here. Also, the same thing with the tanker. The tanker had metal wheels, but it didn't have the Katy couplers on there. So I put Katy couplers. I also weighted it down a little bit more. I think it weighs about 7 ounces now. So this should track much better. And I got a whole host of other ones here that, like this one here, I had to fill in the holes for the trucks. I already got the draft gearboxes mounted, and they're going to have two little tiny screws to hold them in place, which will actually penetrate the plastic, so they'll be solid. They're super glued on now, but they'll be also secured with screws. Now I've got a whole bunch of them to do. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I got 7 of them I got to do. I've got plenty of draft gearboxes. And I got 20 pairs of those. I'm probably going to need more. No, I think I still got probably... There's probably at least 18 or 20. I'm not sure. There's a lot of Katy couplers yet. I'll have to buy more, I'm sure. Which, like I said, I'm getting nickeled and dimed to death over here. And yeah, it is what it is. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, my drop down, I'm redoing it. Can't see it too well here. There we go. I've got a new piece of wood on there. It's hardboard. And I've got the bracing in somewhat. I got to make final adjustments on the braces. And I've got cabinet hinges that I've got to mount on that side there. Right there. And I've got, I showed these I think a couple weeks ago. The centering pins. They got to go in. I also provide power as well. When that gets done, it's going to look pretty good. I did order cork. I'm trying to duplicate what Scott Rail did. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. He's got a channel called Scott Rails. And he did one of these, so I'm following it almost to the letter. So he used cork on the top for road bed, so I went ahead and ordered cork road bed from Amazon. And get this back down here so we can see what's going on. And I hope to have that straightened out in the next couple of weeks. Like I said, I'm at kind of a standstill because I'm lacking some needed components like cork and LED lights and that sort of shit. But it's all been ordered, and as soon as I get it, I can pick back up. I went ahead, I should have took a picture of it, but I didn't. I've got the extension for the overhead platform in over there. Not glued down yet, but I will have. I still got to put seating in it and stuff. Now, here's another thing I did. I ordered, yay, finally, a what the fuck's it called? A Bamboo Labs A1, not the mini, the full size one. It was $300.10 with shipping, or actually tax-free shipping. Ordered it from Amazon last week. It's supposed to be here between March 3rd and March 6th. So, hopefully it'll get here on the lower end of that, hopefully the 3rd. I can't wait to get it because my Vipers they're not printing that good anymore. Now I've been making my own trucks for quite a while, and these are not very good, this last batch. The batch that I used to make were crisp and clean. I did clean this one up a little bit, but still not as good as it could be, so I think I'm going to wait until I get the A1 and go ahead and print up a bunch of them on the A1. Derek says, I'm missing some needed parts too. Yeah, I'll bet. It's a common problem, you know. As I said, I'm getting nickeled and dimed here to death, you know. I started a whole bunch of projects, and I got stalled on them because I didn't have everything I needed, you know. Like that fucking piece of wood for the drop down, I bought a 6-foot section. It was $3.48 a foot. So 3 times 6 is $18. Well, it was actually almost $24 with, you know, because it was $3.48, I think, something like that, $3.68 a foot. And then the 2 cabinet hinges, and these are these here. They're not really the ones I wanted, but they'll work. And these are supposed to be soft closing ones. They're pretty tight, actually. There, and then this part here will go up in the arm part, and this part here will go down in against the wood in there. And when you close it, yeah, soft closing my ass. It's not my finger. The whole thing should, and it actually pulls up. That'll help clear the, you know, that track on that end. I've got to do some other things to it yet, but like I said, I'll show it when it's done and explain exactly what had to be done. And for those who have probably seen Scott Rail's video on that, I guess he did it about a year ago or so. If you're familiar with it, you'll know exactly what I'm doing. So, hopefully that'll come out good too. And the nice thing is it should be solid, because I was getting too much sideways alignment problems, even with the, you know, I had these track things. I wonder how they go. And these are great, but they have limitations. They look like jigsaw puzzles. And they basically go together like that, and it's supposed to keep alignment perfect. Well, it does, but it doesn't. it doesn't account for expansion and contraction. So when I got contraction, it pulled away just enough, and we're just talking a few thousandths of an inch, to where it lost its alignment properties. So while these things are great, they do have limitations. I still recommend them if you have to have a dropout that's solid. And I'll probably still use them along with, like I said, to locate the centering pins. So it's going to solve a whole bunch of problems for me, hopefully. We'll see. But it's going to be perfect. I won't be running trains until I get that absolutely 100% absolutely perfect. I've had so many problems with that area, and it's really aggravating. Hey, Joe Rader, Black Rock Central. How you doing, Joe? Good to see you here. As much as I hate having to drop down to begin with, I don't have a choice, because I can't bend down to get under that. Because of the stroke injury. So it has to come up, because I can hunch down a little bit. There's no way I can get underneath something like that low. Video very choppy. Yeah, I'm in the red again. Still not on Starlink. Hopefully next week. It's got to be better than this, I hope. Yeah, I can see on the monitor. I'm like, look like a robot. And I'm still in the red. And now I'm in the green. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Comcast. And they wonder why I'm dropping them. This could be the reason. Just an observation on my part. So sorry about the poor quality we're experiencing tonight, but it's not my fault. I think eventually it'll clear up. I don't know if they do this hopefully to just knock me off the air, or figuring I'll give up and quit. I don't do that. I will keep going. So we'll see. So anyway, so we got all that stuff going on. Listen, I'm really disappointed in the Vipers. They're good for larger things that don't require precision. Print fine. Hey, Sparky, what's going on? Yeah, there you go. Recognize that guy in there? That shit, can't see it. There you go. Now you can see it. Alright. Good to see you here, Sparky. So, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so they're fine for that, but any for doing it. I had so much cleanup to do on the platform, elevated platforms for the elevated rail, and it just kind of really pissed me off. I was like, this is such a large part, it should come out perfect, and yet there were, I call it hairs all over the place. I don't know what the hell's going on with it, but the machines I think are just wore out, and that's why I decided, you know what, I'm gonna buy the Bamboo Labs A1. It was $299.99, so it was $300, and I figured, you know what, it's got to be worth it because these things are done, So I'll retire one of them, and then I'll still keep the other one as a for certain parts, but the A1's going to be the workhorse from here on in. So hopefully, start talking about Comcast and they booted him right off. Yeah, right. Well, I'm going to Starlink. I got all the stuff here. And I was explaining earlier, for those who came in late, I was supposed to get professional installation. It was part of the deal. Well, the guy was supposed to be here Monday between 12 in the afternoon and 5 p.m. 5 p.m. rolls up, nobody shows up, no calls, nothing. I got no way to get a hold of them. And that's a fault probably on Starlink's site that they just... It's fucked up, it really is. So I'm going to have to install it myself, which is no big deal. I mean, it is, but it isn't. Tom from Tom's Strange Things offered to help me if I get in a bind. I may need his help. But, he's got a busy life, too, and I don't really want to bother him. So, I'm hoping tomorrow I'm going to make an attempt to put it up. And we'll see how it works. Because eventually they're going to start billing me for it. I haven't activated it yet. But they should be billing me for it almost any day now, Because they give you so many days to activate it. And whether you do or not, you get billed. And so, Switches me back to top chat every time you lose. Yeah, I know. This is such bullshit. It really is. No, that was actually, nobody came to the door. There was a truck outside on the road. I thought it might have been them. But, he stopped in front of the house and then took off. But there was nothing on the truck that would suggest that he was a subcontractor unless they're literally hiring some, any quack they could find. And my house number's right there. They got my phone number. So if the guy was lost or couldn't find the house because, you'd have to be stupid not to see the big silver letters over the garage numbers. Hey, why didn't he call me? So I don't know. I don't think that was them. It could have been. I thought at first it was, but it wasn't. So, well, it happened showing up at 5 minutes to 5. Really? I really kind of expect them to come around 2 or 3, which would have been a more reasonable time for them in case they ran into any problems. But it seems like a pretty straight up install. It's a tough part, I guess, as well. Is that you need an 85-degree field of clear vision. So there can't be anything in the way for 85 degrees, which is like that. I mean, it's not 90, it's more than that, so I can't do it with my hands because they don't bend that way. But, so like out here would be 85 degrees. Has to be able to scan. Because I guess my impression is it locks onto multiple ones. And that's why they claim that their service is 99.8 because you're not relying on a single satellite. So 9,500 satellites, you're bound to hit one or more, no matter where you're at. Hey, Dwight Curley, how you doing? Curley Express. Good to see you here. No, I don't have the Starlink set up yet. I was just telling these guys. The installer never showed up. He's supposed to be here this past Monday. I got no way to get a hold of him. So I'm going to have to do the install myself. So hopefully tomorrow I'll get it up and running. Hopefully. Because I've only really got one area on the back of my house that there's a pretty clear shot where there's no trees. And it looks like about an 85 or maybe more degree opening based on, because it's north-south orientation. So north is that way. And then south, of course, is back this way. So, but the only way to find out, the app is on the phone. But they say if you're going to do a roof mount, which is kind of technically what I'm doing, even though it's on the fascia, you have to get up there and with your phone with the app, and that'll tell you if you're clear or not. In other words, you can't do it from the ground because the house would be in the way. And if I go back too far, then the trees are in the way. So I literally have to get up on a ladder with the phone, with the app on, and point it to where I think it's supposed to be, or where it'll tell me it'll be, and if it's clear, I'll be good to go. If that doesn't work, I may have some issues because I've got a lot of trees in my yard, and they're practically all around. So this back corner is the only place where I've got a good north-south clearing. I'm pretty sure it'll work. I hope so. I have fingers crossed. I mean, there's not even an area where I can mount it on the ground because I thought about, they tell you can mount it on the ground if you want, on a pole, if you got the clearance, but I don't have any clear vision for that. So I tell you, if I had the money, I'd have all these becoming more of a pain in the ass than they're worth. I wanted to cut half of them down when we first bought the place. My wife said, no, you got to leave the trees there. So like an idiot, I listened to her. Every time I listen to her, I get in trouble. There was just too many of them on the property. I mean, it was so bad that I had them trimmed. I had a couple removed, mostly for the shed. So bad that the satellite imagery, Google Maps, you couldn't see my house. When you zoomed down on it, all you saw was woods, trees. The house was not visible at all because the trees literally covered the entire house. So now, they haven't updated it yet, but if they did, you can actually see the roof of the house, most of the house, because the trees were trimmed back away from it, Oh, I'm not going up on the roof, because I got a metal roof. There's no way I could walk on that anyway. Not my condition. It's going to... Yours is facing northwest. Well, that's probably when they finally, when you do the final adjustment, they said the initial adjustment, according to the app, is north-south. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll figure it out when I get up there and figure out which way it's got to be turned. It probably depends on your location, too. Remember, you're in Illinois. I'm down here in Florida. So it might be slightly different because, like I said, there's a shitload, and they probably want you to aim in on the ones that are closest to your location. So, no, I'm not going up on the roof. Like I said, I'll be on an 8-foot ladder, right on the fascia, on the side of the roof. And like I said, I bought a wall mount that raises it up a little bit over the mount. So you put the mount on the fascia, then you set up everything on the dish, you bring it up there and you just drop it down on the mount, and you've got a thumb screw to lock it down when you get the orientation correct. And it'll tell you how to orient it with the app. So it's pretty slick. They said an idiot can do it. Well, I'm a little better than an idiot, but, my disability doesn't help any. If I wasn't disabled, I wouldn't even think twice about this. It'd be a piece of cake. Dwight says, I have mine mounted on a deck. Okay, well, if you had the place for it, that'd be fine. I don't have that luxury. Like I said, I got a lot of trees around the house. Tom says, UP7 decoder installed now. Speakers connected on test track now running. With sound now need to set up decoder using Decoder Pro. Alright, that's cool. I'll go buy his on at 7. Okay, well, thanks for stopping in, James. We'll see you later. Hopefully next week we'll be on a good connection with Starlink, and that'll solve a bunch of problems. I hope. I'm in the green at the moment. For how long? Who knows? So, I've been kind of caught doing other things not in here. I spend a little bit of time in here every day, a couple hours, and mostly printing. All my printed parts are done now except for one. I've got to modify one of the supports on the overhead platform on that side because it interferes with the track. Can't move the track, so I have to move the platform. So, or support actually. So hopefully I'll get that straightened out in the next couple of days. I got to redesign one of the supports. And then print it out. It takes about 4 hours to print, so no big deal, but James says I'll stay till 7. That's cool. Hey, Darren Hamill, how you doing? Good to see you here, man. So, yeah, it really is a bunch of bullshit, the whole thing is. Of course, that's the way everything goes around here. Nothing's ever easy. And the problem with Sebring is not a very oriented area. A service-oriented area, I should say. You can't rely on anybody or anything around here, not really. I mean, Tom Kavitchak from Tom's Trains, he said he'd offered to help me and If I really have a big problem, I'll get them to help me, but I should be okay with it. I think it'll be tougher for me to put. Not yet, but in a few months when it starts really getting hot out, I got to put an air conditioner in the living room. I've got the mini splits in both bedrooms. I was going to put a mini split in the dining room because it's the only place I could put it. And I got my living room and dining room right behind it. But I saw these new U-shaped air conditioners. They're mini splits, but they're connected. And you drop the whole shit over the windowsill. General Electric has one at $600, but it weighs 85 pounds, so it's both me and the wife will have to pick it up because I don't think I can pick it up anymore. And then set it over the window, and it's 110 volt, which is great. Just plug it in a wall socket. It's very quiet. It's only cool. It doesn't heat, but I don't need heat in the living room, so I have a fireplace for that. So hopefully, probably around May or June, I'll pick one up. That'll give me a chance to pay down some of my, because I bought a few things at a firm loan deal. Because I bought the 2 mini splits on that because I simply didn't have the money to throw down all at once. So I should have them paid off pretty soon, and we'll be good to go. What are these mini splits called so I can look on it? It's called a mini split. If you go on Amazon, just put in mini split AC, /A/C, and they'll bring up, I think, like 10 pages of them. They're real easy to put in. They have them both 110 volt or 115 volt, 220, or actually 210 to 220 volt, or 220 to 230. I don't remember what, because I've got a 220 on the far side of the house because that's where the old air conditioner was, the central. I ripped that unit out, but I utilized the electric for the mini split. And then on this side of the house, I got it tied into a 110 volt, a separate, dedicated circuit. So, like I said, the only thing that doesn't get cool is the living room, dining room. And so they got it's a 12,000 BTU, which should be fine for that. So, because I was originally going to put an 18,000 BTU mini split in, but I have to put it in the back side of the house because there's no place in the front to mount one. They mounted the windows are almost go up to the up to the ceiling. There's just no place on the front wall to put it. Of course, I got my fireplace in the corner, so got to stay away from that too. You got to connect them with high and low side pipes and lines, but they're so easy. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I said I've installed this one here, the one in my guest house, and the 2 in the main house. So I've installed 4 of them already, and I think they're the greatest thing out. They're so cheap to run. My electric bill really didn't go up at all running them. They produce both heat and cold because they're heat pumps, and they're inverter compressors, I believe we got in them. They're so cheap to run, it's a joke. I bought a portable air conditioner for the living room last year, and that it's not an inverter, it's just a floor model, and I think it's 12,000 BTU. It did a fair job of cooling the place, but it was loud. Had to constantly empty the water reservoir. We had a 5-gallon bucket to catch the condensate from. And it jacked the bill up, so I was like running a regular wall air conditioner. I mean, it actually probably kicked the bill up almost $100. So I said, well, fuck that. I'm going to sell that piece of shit and get something a little more, economical, because that's crazy. No, you don't need silver solder. They're what do you call them? They're not compression fittings. The other ones, flare fittings. They got flare fittings on them. They tell you to use the sealant for them. They tell you should torque them, but if you tweak it good, you'll be fine. You know, unless you happen to have the equipment to actually torque it. But it's not necessary. Like I said, this was the first one I put in. I leak checked it after I, got everything working, and no leaks, and it's still running, going on 5 years now. So, and they're supposed to be good for 20 years. So that's nice too. And of course, and everything's already in them. Well, be careful. I only buy the ones that say refrigerants included. Because what they do is they trap the refrigerant in the condensing unit. And once you get it all hooked up and stuff, and you crack open the valves on the condenser, it fills the whole system and you're ready to rock and roll. Now you should suck it down as well. I do. I have a, a vacuum pump. So I suck mine down for an hour just because, before I let the fluid get into it. So, yeah, they're real easy to work though. I mean, I don't think you could use pre-charging. Oh, really? Well, that sucks. And then they'll force you to get a installer then. See here, you can go both ways. They sell them without the refrigerant. They sell them with the refrigerant. There's no real price difference, which is bullshit. Because they're using R32 in these. That's the ones I get, the ones that have the refrigerant included. I mean, I could get R32 if I need to, even though I'm not licensed. There are ways to get everything in this country, And I would go ahead and fill it, because I've got gauges and all that shit anyway. Because I used to do AC work, in the cars anyway. And some houses. Until they kind of made it illegal, then I had to quit doing it, but it's really not that hard. Might need to do a fundraiser for that for the size of the shed. You don't have air conditioning in your shed? Yeah, that's the best way to go because it works great in this. This is a 12,000 BTU. The shed is 600 square foot, and it'll freeze you out if you let it. Or if you're using the heat, it'll cook you. I mean, and it heats up or cools off in about 20 minutes, from whatever. Like when I came in here this morning, it was like ice in here because it was real cold last night. It got down to, I think, 41 or something like that. And I got good insulation in here, but swear to God, it keeps whatever's in here in here. If it's hot outside, it's hotter in here. It's cold outside, it's colder in here, So it took about 20 minutes. Well, I left it off. I left the door open for a little bit to get some of the warm air outside in. And it didn't take long at all. But then it got hot in here. So I flipped the AC on. That was about 3 hours ago. And I got it set on 78, and it's very comfortable right now. Image buffer. Oh, yeah. I can see I'm freezing up and shit. Back on the red again. Fucking internet. I'm telling you what. Yes, a floor unit with 8-inch pipe. To the outside, it works okay. Yeah, well. Yeah, sorry guys, we're having a lot of problems. Back on the green again. We're having a lot of problems with the internet tonight. It's just going to get worse. I really think that they want me to drop them and, well, they're going to get their wish. Hopefully next week. Go out and come back. There you go. Party said, does my heat and cooling? Yeah. See, the portable floor unit I got, it only does cooling too. And I gave 300 and change for that from Amazon. And I don't know if it was defective to begin with because it's noisy as hell. And I should have sent it back, but I didn't feel like screwing with it. And so we kind of just dealt with it, but I don't think it does. I have an old one. It's 8,000 BTU. That was given to me. It's probably about Shit, probably 20, 25 years old. And it's real old. They don't even make them anymore. Still works great. It's quiet. But what happened is I was emptying the water reservoir and it slipped out of my hand, hit the floor and busted up. So I kind of rigged it back together, but it still leaks a little bit. And there's no way to add a hose to that. Because, like the new one, you could use the internal tank or run a hose out. Like I got it to a 5-gallon bucket, and it'll fill a 5-gallon bucket in a day. Full of water, condensate water. So, and it really, I don't know if it could pump it outside or not, but I'd have to put it through the window. Because I got the exhaust vent that goes through the window too. They only give you like a 4-foot section of the vinyl line for the condensate. I'd have to get a longer one and run it out there, but see, it would also be higher than the unit, which might be a problem. So it may not drain. So I don't know. Like I said, it's just it would have cost me between $7,000 and $11,000 to have a new central air unit put in. Now, I could have done most of the work myself, except for recharging it, because I don't know what they're using for refrigerant now. It's not 132 or 32 or whatever the hell it is. At 132. It's something else. It's about $100 a pound. So, and of course, what you're supposed to do on a central unit, you're supposed to clean out the pipes with nitrogen. I don't have any nitrogen. So there would have been a whole bunch of problems. Otherwise, I'd have just done the thing myself, because I could have got the units for about close to $3,000 for a 4-ton. Both the air handler and the condenser. And to be honest with you, I really didn't want to screw with it. So I just said, you know what? Why am I cooling or heating the whole house? We're only in one room at a time, as a rule. We're in the living room, dining room during the day. At night, we're sleeping in the bedroom. So why am I cooling every other room in the house when we're not out there? So the mini splits made more sense, and in a lot of places, that's all they use. Other countries, they're actually mandated. They don't use central air conditioning. They use mini splits throughout the house. Now, if I'd had the money, I could have got a mini split with several head units. They make 2 head units, 3, 4, 5, I think up to 6. But you got to run lines for everything, of course, and that would also be a pain in the ass. But once again, only because I can't get up in the attic. If I were able to get up in the attic, I would have got multiple head units and just had one off of one condenser. Once again, making the thing very, very efficient. But, like I said, I'm limited to what I can physically do now, so. James, he's good right now. Go out and come back. There you got a dozen heating cooling. I read that already. Derek says, Sparky, probably the best location for yours would be up high on the short wall all the way at the back of your shed, away from the desk and door, if you can access electric there. Yeah, that makes sense. Like I said, though, they're so quiet, you don't hear them run. Mine's right here. I mean, it's literally 3 foot away. And I don't think you can hear it running. And Sparky's, that's where you'd put it. Sparky's, I've thought about them for a couple of years. Like I said, it's the best way to go. In Canada, Ontario, you need a ticket to purchase gas. That figures. Well, technically, they said a homeowner can't do it here. Technically, what I did was illegal. Even though they kind of turn a blind eye to it because they know we're doing them ourselves. I'm not going to hire an installer to do something I can do myself and then have to pay him another $1,000 or whatever. For what? So, Sparky says, and I know an electrician's like Sparky. Yeah, I guess you do, don't you? That's kids work compared to what you do for a living. No. Sparky, you must know someone in the HVAC trade. Well, if you did, that would be handy. You know, they could either come in and charge it for you or sell you the Freon, whatever. Like I said, there's a place in town. He's a Freon dealer. And he'll sell you the Freon, you know, off the books. So, you know, I'll buy it. I don't give a shit, you know. Fortunately, we can still buy our 132A, 134A rather, for the cars. Because if I ever get around, I don't know if I'm going to fix the air myself in the car. There's a guy down in Naples said he'd do it for $500. I've got all the components already. I'm kicking around doing it myself again. But if I decide not to, I'll let him do it. But the only thing I don't have right now is the Freon. But I can get that anywhere at any time. Thomas says, Jim, at a hockey game last night in New Jersey, the Devils, they announced the governor and the entire 20,000 fans in the area booed the hell out of her. It was great. Yeah, I'll bet. And I'm sure she was undaunted by it. But they don't give a shit, you know. Did you guys watch the State of the Union address? I didn't see it live because I was busy, but I watched it yesterday, you know, on a replay. And the Democrats, then, they make asses of themselves, man. It's a shame we can't deport them all, really. They should be deported because they hate America. They hate us. And they have no business being here. Let's see. Sparky says, I used to be licensed in HVAC, gas pipe, plumbing, and yeah, you're the electrician. Sparky says, but when Ontario said we had to pay for each license every year, I dropped the first two. Well, that's why I got out of the car repair business here, because I don't know if they ever... So you needed a general engine repair license. You needed a license to do brakes, a license to do electrical, a license to do transmissions, a license to do air conditioning, obviously. And they had all these, like 30 licenses. Fuck you. You know, I'm a mechanic. I do it all. I know what I'm doing anyway. Why do I need a license for each aspect of the car? That's why I said, you know, it's time to do it. No, it probably isn't, James. Like I said, if you let a license lapse, they kind of make you fly through hoops all over again. You can't just go in and go, I'd like to renew my license, you know, and it doesn't work that way. He's not here anyway. Big Jim is frozen in Florida. Comcast sucks. Am I frozen yet? Yeah, I'm back in the red. Are you guys getting any audio out of this, or is it just video that's fucked up? Well, it used to be that way here, too. I mean, you were able to buy whatever. Because I bought, at the time they were using, what was it, R11 for the houses and R12 for the cars. And it was cheap, too. It was like less than $1 a pound. I had big 30-gallon jugs of it. Still in the fucking red. Back in the yellow now. Come on, green. Come on. There we go. Back in the green. Yeah, I saw the State of the Union. It was a disgrace to see the Dems and that bitch yelling at Trump. Well, they're going to deport her, believe it or not. I believe she got arrested yesterday. They're going to investigate her riches because she's worth like $34 million. And then they're going to throw her the fuck out of the country. I think they're going to confiscate the money, too. And they should. Because you know damn good and well she probably got it through fraudulent means. Personally, I'd fucking hang her by the neck and be done with it, but... I have to keep closing it down and restarting the live. You know, that sucks. It's on his end, Derek, restarting. Well, that's true. Sparky, the outlawed pre-charged line. They outlawed pre-charged line. Did they really? That's bullshit. Jim, both are going on and off in audio and video. Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. Back in the red again. God damn it. Try to drop your ledges in the 420. It might help, or 720. Just get off 1080. I don't know if I can do that without. Let me try here. Output. Group stream. Output. Streaming CBR 1920 by 1080. Nope, won't let me do it. Not while I'm live. I don't think. I'm not seeing anything here that'll allow me to. Nope. That sucks. And I'm frozen again. Well, they're really trying my patience today. Really, really trying my patience. Yeah, it's a little different on OBS. Yeah, see, if I was in StreamYard, I could do it, but not on OBS. Still on the red. Oh, it's in the yellow now. And I'm still frozen. Frozen and it's back in the green now. Yay! Not a number. No, you can email them. I didn't do it because I figured it'd probably be pointless. But I might do it anyway. I don't know. I'll look into it tomorrow. Like I said, I'm so kind of pissed off with the whole shit. I mean, I'm anxious to get on Starlink, but I'm a little pissed. Well, I expected nothing less, to be honest. Back in the red again. In the yellow. Oh, back in the green. Yeah, I'm going to shut this down and go to StreamYard. You'll have to refresh everything. But give me about 3 or 4 minutes. And I'm gonna shut down OBS and go to StreamYard. I'll be right back. So, like I said, you'll probably have to refresh and look for the new stream. Okay, got it? All right.